How's everyone feeling? Let us know in the chat what's going on for you. We've got a little bit of talk about the Lionsgate, so lots of fun information coming out today. I'm so excited for everyone to join us, and thank you for the birthday wishes. Yay!
Okay, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jennifer Blackert.
And I'm Leonka Reina.
And this is the Haute Hustle Morning Show. Today, we have a very special guest. Her name is Emily Harrison, and she runs the Akashic Academy. And boy, if you've ever been in her world, you know that she really knows her stuff. So we are going to get started with her in about 7 or 8 minutes. Before we do, Leonka's going to enlighten you on the space energy news, and we're going to talk a little Lionsgate today.
Yeah, that's right. So it says the sun is crackling with flares, and this is via spaceweather.com. Growing spot AR3234 is crackling with solar flares, including more than half a dozen M-class events since Monday. Pulses of radiation and ionizing the Earth's atmosphere, causing rolling series of short radio blackouts. And then specifically for Lionsgate, every year on August 8th, we celebrate the peak of Lionsgate portal. This year, Lionsgate's portal will be extra powerful because it's not just 88 numerology, it's 24 is in your universal year of numerology, 888. The ultimate abundance, woohoo! Yeah.
Take abundance.
Yeah, 8 also represents expansion, infinity, where the spiritual meets the physical. During this powerful Stargate, we'll receive huge flow of cosmic energies that will activate our dormant DNA, abundance template, and this time of massive frequency and potential. I love all this. So everyone just kind of really tap into that, see what expands for you, be about the abundance, match your frequency. It'll be a lot of fun. And that's what I got.
Yep.
I love my birthday, and I love lions and everything like that. So
I know.
Yeah,
right?
It's really an invigorating time.
So what are your plans today for your birthday?
Actually, I'm gonna go see grandma. So she's the one that raised me, and I just always feel like I just have like this good energy when I'm back in my own house. And I mean, I used to do all these elaborate like dinners, and we'd have these parties and all this stuff, but really I just have this craving to go see grandma. So I did that last year, and I'm like, that's what I want to do tonight. So we're just gonna take food over there, and I've got a big family. I guess if you count them all, I was one of 9.
Okay.
So my grandma had 8. She had 2 sets of
Things
twins.
I keep finding out about you. It's kind of crazy.
She had twin boys, and then she finally, the last 2 girls, all of them, so all 6 were boys, and then the last 2 were twin girls. And then I guess by the time I came along, and all the stuff from my grandparents were probably like, oh, just throw her in the bed, she can sleep with the twins. So I
just stick her in there like a little puppy.
Yeah, right. Just feed her. We've got a good. No, they are amazing. They were amazing grandparents, and they did all the things like drove me to cheerleading camp and all those things. So, really excited to go see my grandma. She's slowing down, but she still gets out there in her garden because she knows it's important to do the earthing.
That's great.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let's see a cheer.
How about you? A cheer.
That's about all I could do.
Watch out.
All I do is I used to do wrestling cheerleading on my knees, and we would just have to make our arms real strong,
Oh, okay.
That's about all I remember.
That's pretty good. Those arms going on. I love it. How are you feeling? Right. How's Lionsgate feeling for you? And what can you do to maybe tap into that?
I've been sharing. So everything in my world is a little upside down. Like nothing's really been bothering me to like the point of like anger and frustration and mad. But it's sort of like for example, on Sunday, I went to schedule a lash appointment.
Okay.
And I got there and they are like, you don't have an account. You don't have a membership. And
what?
I'm like,
you don't got there.
And I literally went around to the admin desk and helped her with the computer and everything. And she's like, I'm like, you're right. It's not in here. And I ended up contacting them and going back, and they were like, oh no, it totally is.
What?
It's just not showing up. And I was like, okay, so lashes waited, and and then I'm getting a new spa cover for my swim spa, and they rang it up all wrong.
Yeah, you were saying.
I was like,
It's
really?
backwards day for everybody
You
else.
know, they would
Yeah.
no delivery, no installation, and they didn't even order the right part. Then I was getting the roof and I paid the down payment like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
but they didn't enter it in the system. So I'm scrambling last night to figure out how we can keep it quiet during the show today.
Yeah.
So yeah, things have just been a little bit upside down. You know, I almost expect in my energetic system that things just always like show up roses. And it's kind of been a little floppy this week
Yeah.
since we've been back from blocks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said
You
that.
guys weren't on the show on Tuesday. Do go back and listen. We were sharing a little bit about our reality show filming last week. We're glad we're back, but man, like I said, everything got turned a little upside down.
Yeah.
But it'll be okay.
Yeah, because we were immersed. And so when you're immersed in that, like in other words, like if you were taken away from everything, which is what they do.
Your phone.
Yeah. Well,
little
technically you
phone.
can kind of have it, but like the rules are it's not like you're not
Yeah,
supposed
not
to.
supposed to be using it.
So it's because it's a live-in reality series, you know, you're supposed to have like full focus on the show. And so it's like, so you feel like disconnected. So I can only imagine how everything came back and be a little upside down. Yeah.
Perfect.
Anyway.
Well, let's bring Emily on and get you guys started. Here we go. All right, you guys, welcome Emily Harrison from the Akashic Academy. She used to be a Hollywood actress, and doing a little homework about her, I thought, wow, what a leap. And it was a really beautiful. Do you want to go ahead and start right there, Emily, and just tell us a little bit about why the shift of career? You are muted, though.
Hola.
Mute.
There you go.
Do I? No, not really. I mean, do your other guests have this problem? You guys are so interesting, entertaining. I just want to talk more about you. I don't want to talk about myself.
Oh, that's funny.
How fun, not too
All
fun.
right, but yeah, I guess since we've already agreed for me to come
You're so
on and
cute.
share, I'll uphold that commitment. But man, you ladies, thank you for creating just such a magical space of sharing. And man, Leonka, when you were sharing about your family and your grandmother and how they took you in, I was just able to have a glimpse of how amazing humanity and humans can be, how inclusive we can be, how good we can be at taking care of each other. I know that that's not reflected everywhere in our outside world, but it was profoundly special. And I noticed that. I heard something down else here too, that you were blowing my mind with, Jenith. Oh, the fact that you are opening the sky and the ceiling in your home on Lionsgate. What? Just like, what is opening in this woman's
about that?
Ooh. Yeah.
That's why I said y'all are very interesting. I'll have to switch gears here and share a little bit more of my story, but just thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you.
Ladies who are here live. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
what was the question again? How did I get started doing this? Bring me in again.
How did you start with that career shift? Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, tell us a little bit about From Hollywood to today. Like, we're so excited to have you in this world, like doing the stuff you do. I followed you on Gaia, like, yay.
Thank you so much. Well, I actually would love to start backing up just a little bit before Hollywood, and I promise I'll keep it the abridged version. But what I find is the people who come into my field, and when we're magnetizing each other in, there's so many aspects of our story that are similar. And I didn't start out in Hollywood. I started out in obscurity, a really small town in Missouri. I grew up under the constructs of Southern baptism and religion and what all of that looked like, and really had to make powerful, brave decisions to step outside of that. And a lot of times, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but the everyman syndrome, or just like, who am I to do that, really can stop us from stepping into our bigger dreams and visions. And so I just share that, yeah, it takes some courage along the way. And if anybody is in a place where you're feeling like you want to make a big step and step into something new, I just offer my story as a transmission to help you do that. So let's see, small town, like 50 people in my graduating class. I loved being, or at least trying to be the president or captain of anything that I could be the president or captain of. And then I went to Mizzou and didn't really know what I wanted to do. Felt like it was kind of crazy to claim what my future was at that time. But I used to teach my dolls and my animal stuff. So I thought, okay, I'll be a teacher. And I claimed education as my major and I hated it. By year two, I was just like, oh my gosh, my soul was just feeling so constricted. And I was driving home from campus because I lived off campus my second year. And you know, when you're driving and I was stopping at a stoplight, you're using different brainwaves. And I had shifted into some different brainwaves where I got what I would call now as a download.
Uh-huh.
And it was more than just, hey, Emily, if you don't like what you're experiencing right now, go do something else. It was like it was realized in my cells and my bones. And so I thought, yeah, I don't like this. Well, what do I want to do instead? And I heard a voice say, Hollywood sounds fun. And I figured, yeah, it does. Let's go. So I made the decision to unplug my life there in Missouri, and I moved to Los Angeles and really fell into acting right away. I think my very first manager found me at the shopping mall or whatever. It really was like the quintessential story of the Midwest girl, right? But I get to Hollywood, and even though I'm getting jobs, I'm not very good, you guys. I'm so much better in my head in the auditions than I am in reality. So I recognize I've got to train. And I've got to train more than just in acting. I wanted to train my subtle energy body. Yoga, meditation, Tai Chi, Qigong, these things really began to help me meet that gap of how I put myself in my mind.
Yeah.
How I could perform in the room, right? And so I started getting acting job after acting job. And so the more acting jobs I would get, the more I would meditate and the more I would dive into my consciousness. And anybody who has taken that journey, you know, there's a point where the mystique and the magic begin to take over, so much so that my 3D, my real life became really mundane. And I was just self-studied and immersed in anything that I could get my hands on. And it was weird because I was actually getting more acting jobs, but I was also not getting more acting jobs. And here's what I mean. It's a numbers game. Even though I'm getting more and more acting jobs, I'm also getting beat out for roles by Anna Paquin, Keira Knightley, Kate Beckinsale, like some of these big actresses out there. And I'm actually becoming more depressed. And I've got 3 little kids at this point in time. And I'm overwhelmed with what it takes to show up and be a mom and have this pull to want to be in Hollywood as well.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I was also running from some trauma in my marriage that I didn't have the skills to face. And so on the outside, it seemed like things were really going well for me, but on the inside, I was battling these things, right? And I felt the best when I was in this metaphysical space. So kids are inside one afternoon, I'm out gardening, in my little meditation garden, and the neighbor comes limping by. I haven't seen this guy for 6 months, and here he comes limping. Daniel, what happened to you? He said, oh, I shattered my ankle and it's not healing very well. And I said, do you want to come over for some energy healing? And as soon as I said that, it was like the world slowed down. I'm like, what the F did I just say? I am not
Yeah.
I'm an actress.
Wowzers.
Right? I know. I'm like, gosh, I hope he says no. And he says, sure, let me just put my dog away, like a little inquisitive. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm like, okay, Emily, just act like an energy healer. Just wing it, right? And so I've had this tuning fork for many, many years. My mom had given me this. So I run inside, I get the tuning fork, I get my iPad and some big old Sony headphones, and I hook up some solfeggio scale meditation for him, and I prop his leg up on the chair, and I'm like waving. I'm like this. I'm like waving around his ankle, and I'm like, if my husband comes home right now, I'm gonna have some explaining to do.
Right.
And then it was like the world slows down again.
Oh my God.
And my friend Daniel, he's got the headphones on. He's like in his space, and his father, who had passed, came into my awareness. And what I mean by that is it's almost like I could just feel him. There was a knowingness that he was there. Now, guys, at this point, I've seen enough episodes of Long Island Medium. I know I'm supposed to talk to him, right? Also, there's an aspect of my training in Hollywood with improv acting. Is anybody familiar with improv acting?
Yeah.
You got to play along with it, right? So if I hand you something, you can't be like, it's yes, and it's like, oh, thank you for the apple. Right? So I knew that I had to engage this process a bit. So I begin talking with him and I say, all right, yeah, I feel you here. What's your name? Which is a rookie mistake. Names can be challenging to get because the way that communication works when we're in our records or when we're in mediumship or we're communicating with our guides is they speak to us in a language, first of all, in our imagination. So we got to be able to pick up what's going on in our imagination, but they also speak through our own personal experience. So sometimes there's some puzzle pieces that we get together, right? And so for me, I didn't really know all of these things, how it quite worked yet, but I was willing to play along. So I asked this question, right? What's your name? And I see in my mind, Bob, which was the name of my father-in-law, right? And it's like they're big bubble letters. But then they cross out Bob, but not Bob, but a J name. Short like Bob, but a J. I'm like, okay, well, okay, Bob, not Bob. That's clear. And then Bob, not Bob, proceeds to tell me I saved my son, like heroically taking like a responsibility for saving him. I'm like, fine, Bob, not Bob. You saved him. You did a shit job. He says, ankle's crushed, but okay, you saved him, right? And then I see this image of two hands coming together in my mind. And it's almost like right as I see those two hands coming together, bam, the meditation's over. Daniel's taking the headphones off. I'm like snapping back to reality. Do you feel better? And he's like, yeah. And I said, great, bye. I like shoo him on home. So I go inside and I'm washing my hands and it's like, Bob is there nagging. Please reach out to my son. Please let him know I was here. So I gather my courage and I reach out to my friend and I say, all right, I'm an actress. I'm not a medium, but I do feel like your dad came through and has some messages for you, and I'll share what I was getting. I don't know if I'm right, but I'll share if you're open to it. And he's like, well, heck yes. So he rushes back over and we're sitting outside and I make us some coffee and I said, all right, well, what was your dad's name? And he said, my dad's name was Alan. And I'm like, Alan. Well, I got that one wrong, obviously. I was getting Bob, not Bob, but a same name, short like Bob. And he stops and he says, Emily, my dad's name was Alan J. J-A-Y. He went by his middle name. And so we were both kind of like, whoa, okay. So then I shared with him, he's taking responsibility for saving you. And I told him he didn't do a very good job, but he is insisting. And Daniel said, well, this is what happened to me. I'd been experiencing vertigo and it was getting better, but I was in a jewelry store in Malibu, second story of like a strip mall. And I felt it coming on again, and I didn't want to pass out in the jewelry store. So I stepped outside to get some air. And where I did pass out, where the paramedics found me, they said 2 more inches and you would have fallen down 2 flights of concrete stairs.
Oh my God.
I know. And so then I tell him this last image of the hands, and he begins crying. He says, Emily, my dad and I were estranged for 30 years, but we reconciled before he died. And I was holding his hand when he died. And I'm crying too.
Yes, of course.
And it was this point I could, the healing that washed over my friend, how I was able to participate in that. It changed something in me where I recognized this is the greatest story that I can ever tell, the story of human potential and what is possible for us. And my timeline shifted in that moment. I was like, screw Hollywood. And y'all, I had been married to this timeline. My identity was completely absorbed in this timeline, and it shifted like this. And not to say that there wasn't challenge, but my devotion, my clarity, and I didn't know what all of it looked like, but I'm like, I gotta help people. I gotta help people with this, right? So I run inside and I go digging through my modeling portfolio because I've got a Conscious Life magazine that I picked up in there. And I'm like, I gotta get certified in something so I can hang a sign on my door and help people. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. I'm like, yoga, and no offense to like yoga or Reiki. I mean, all of these modalities are great. Those weren't quite the point. So I land on the Akashic Records and I'm like, bam, the records, that's everything. They hold all information forward and backward in time. However, I'm going to need to help somebody, I'm going to be able to get that information for them in the records. I need to learn how to read the Akashic Records. So I dove into that training And it was like a soul remembrance coming alive in me. And I very quickly recognized, actually, no, it's not about using the records to read for other people, which I still do. But what it's about is training people to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what I said about your guides are going to talk to you through your perspective. So that's why each one of us having that communication, they can talk to us directly.
Uh-huh.
And what I didn't anticipate through this process was how much I would actually help myself. Like when I read my own records, what I recognized was I was able to see where I had unconscious patterning from either this lifetime, past lifetimes, or my trauma, soul contracts that we make along the way. I was able to see them. I was able to, once we see them, we can rewrite them. Like our Akashic Records, it's this etheric realm of intelligence. It holds all information, past, present, all possible futures, recorded from a neutral perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We can download this information, but the Akash, this is a living library. We're uploading as well. So as we think about ourselves differently, we look at our problems differently, we look at our life differently, we're uploading new templates, not only for ourselves, but for all of humanity. And I began to solve some of my greatest challenges. I began to understand all these karmic patterns that my husband and I were working through. I began to understand my life, like seriously, everything in my life started making sense. Everything down to weird experiences I had had as a child. And that's when the Akashic Academy was born, this movement, this Jedi movement to bring in the rise of light, the rise of consciousness. You talk about this Lionsgate energy coming in and these solar flares. This is waking up our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of us have the ability to tap into this superconscious intelligence, this one mind. And when we do, we get a level of guidance, wisdom, clarity instantaneously at our disposal. We're not waiting for those moments of download like at the stoplight, when I was 19 and all of these right components had to happen. No, I can get myself into that state now. Okay, wow. I feel complete and seen. That would be that would be the answer of how I got from Louisiana, Missouri.
Yes. And that's powerful though. Like I love how it's almost like everyone, when you're going through this journey, it's like those are those anchor moments that sometimes, I used to kind of gloss over those. And now I really go back and look at those like, wow, like and like you said, at the time, I didn't know that my timeline had shifted, right? It's like, and if you just keep going on with your life as if nothing happened, you may miss it.
More and more depressed.
You may miss it, right? Right. And I did that for a long time too. I tried to do the 1 foot in, 1 foot out straddle thing. And boy, my legs are going like this, like. And so I finally just was like, surrender and let's go. I really want this anyway. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
I don't need to entirely guide the conversation, but you did mention at the beginning before we got on air was that you kind of were naturally intuiting this mission vision conversation around the Lionsgate.
Oh,
Can we dive into some of that activation?
Yes. So let me just drop in and see where the guides want to start here. Because we've thrown around this magical word of timeline shifts a couple times here. And Jenna, that was something else that I noticed when you were talking about the weird blips of not having the memberships and the right finances and like programmed in and the right. These are weird like they're weird evidences of timeline shifts.
Oh shoot!
Moving in and out of timelines.
See, I knew that I shouldn't be angry at all this.
Yeah, you were saying it with the laughter.
Yeah. I had a really weird one this week where my sneakers that I walk my dog, I hike her every single day in, I put them on there too tight, like so too tight, it interrupted my walk. Weird. Okay. So timelines are fluid right now. And these solar flares that we're having are really boosting the whole process of evolution that we're experiencing. And Lionsgate, this is an alignment to the star system Sirius, which is a gateway into great central sun. It's known as our spiritual sun. And we're being flooded with these codes right now that wake up our dormant DNA. I want to talk about that for just a second. Anybody else grow up like spiritual, like traditionally spiritual, religious about? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
so we in
we're
the
not the
Bible,
most spiritual.
right?
Yeah. I was yeah, just so you know, she like her son goes to Catholic church, right? And
School.
and my father was a minister. So we were like raised in like the Christian reality. Like this is really right wing for us. But
Thank
and
you.
we're all in.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. I mean, me too. That Southern baptism that I grew up in, my mom was
Mhm.
a Sunday school teacher. We were Sunday morning, Sunday night. I was witnessing to my friends, y'all.
Yes,
My
yes,
witness
yes.
forms that they sign off on, right?
I love you.
My son right now, my oldest son, Jack, he's almost 21. He's a pastor in training at a mega church here in
Wow.
Oh, wow.
the area. So yeah, a spiritual visionary in his own right.
Yeah.
So creating, tolerance and openness for us to have this bigger
I
conversation.
love it.
And some of the things about how I was raised didn't really work for me. So I explored what does work for me, right?
Yeah.
And in my exploration of the second coming of Christ, of Jesus, like what is that really? Here's what the records bring into my field, and it just excites the heck out of me. They say that okay, so the name Christ, it's comes from the Latin, Hebrew, maybe even more ancient than that, Christios, which has a scientific connection to all 12 strands of our DNA being active. And when all 12 strands of our DNA are active, we can be that Jesus said, the least amongst you can do all that I have done and more, which is walking on the water and multiplying the loaves and healing and being freaking nice to each other for that matter, right? Like that compassion, that's the next strand of DNA that gets to activate for us to move back into Christic consciousness. But I invite you to try on is the return of the Christ, the return of the Christic consciousness within all of us when all 12 strands of our DNA become activated. I feel like that's the invitation of this timeline shift that we're being invited into right now during this Lionsgate energy. So it can be really powerful and impactful to start to dissect, to create methodology. But like I said, I told you, I like to teach my stuffed animals and continue anybody who will listen. But one thing that I love to do with the Akashic Records is to create simplicity and methodology around how do we take these big, exciting, amazing concepts and then, but what do I actually do with it right now, here today, so that I like get on the trajectory of that timeline? And I'd love to bring y'all into that if you're into it.
Yes.
Anybody want that?
Woohoo!
Say yes in the chat. Like, let's go for it. Woohoo. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. And I'd also love to know, like, what feels like some of the biggest challenges that you guys are experiencing when it comes to stepping into your timeline and like getting close to your dreams and clear about them and saying, that's what I'm going to go for. How about you ladies?
And would you guys also please contribute to the chat? What is your biggest challenge right now when you feel like you're stepping into being all of you?
Yeah.
I think for me, what would you say yours is?
So mine is, sometimes I totally get it.
Little dog situation here too.
Yeah, because she's getting a skylight putting in. Yeah. So a lot of, when I'm expanded, I feel like sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm all out there and good. And then all of a sudden, whoop, I'm right back to like being maybe, oh my gosh, like contracted. Like, is this really going to work? Or am I crazy? I just walked away from a secure, radio and television career to, start this show, like that kind of thing. But in my knowing, I know it's already done. Like I already know, like I know, right? I had played that straddle game for so long.
Yep.
So, but yeah, there are times where it's just like, you get these weird things and you're like, ugh.
It just contracts you in that moment. I think we're better at flipping out of it than getting stuck in the contraction than more people in this world.
But yeah, to give you an example.
Yeah.
Excellent. So let me see if I'm hearing you correctly. So there's like self-doubting questioning, the human
Sure.
question that comes in. So I definitely can tell you I feel that one too. And then I would call it stabilization. Anybody else feel that? Like you grow and expand, and then you feel like, okay, but I'm settling in a little lower than what I was shooting for.
Sometimes, yes.
Totally, me too. Let's see what else we got in the chat here.
Yeah. Finding where I belong.
Oh yeah,
Finding my
community.
direction.
Yes,
Time for
clarity.
all that I want to do. Somebody.
Time management, dude. Okay.
All of that.
Yeah, okay.
Times. Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome. Yep. So we
Feeling
did.
stuck to move forward. And Jeneth and I can both speak to that too. We talked about like in 2020, we were stuck. Like if
Literally
we make
stuck.
the joke, yeah, like literally stuck.
Yeah. We were like, people were going to be like, where did you all come from? And we were like, I'm sorry, we were stuck too.
Anybody else feeling stuck? Yeah, I mean that can be huge right now. And I just want to invite, the guys are saying, let's embrace the stuckness right now because it lets us get still for a second and get clear about what different decisions we need. Like how are we going to get out of this?
Yeah.
Right. So let's keep the pause. Oh, here's another thing that I feel like some of you might experience: repeating the same challenges over and over. Do you feel like stuck in the same corner? What am I supposed to get about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yup. Feeling alone is a big one. Also, I think sometimes there's this je ne sais quoi, this nondescript, there's more. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's more for me. I feel that? Yeah.
So then you feel like, you're almost letting someone down and letting yourself down if you don't live up to that potential. So it's like potentialities.
Yeah. And there's also that just slowness. Like sometimes I feel like I'm already there in my mind and in my energetic system. And I'm just like, come on, universe. This is just a little too slow.
Yeah. I mean, I felt that gap between my own mind and my body in my Hollywood story, right? Like up here, it was a different timeline than what my body could actually emote yet and hold.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, it looks like we're all in the right place today because this is exactly what the work in the Akashic Records does, is that it helps us figure out what's keeping us stuck. Like, what are the underlying patterns here? What is it that I'm not learning? Right. And it also helps us bring in clarity on who we are. It activates our energetic system. So we step into bravery, like our chakras begin to activate and balance so that it can help us see more clearly and make the brave decisions that it takes to get from point A to point B. All right, so let's dissect what point A to point B actually looks like, okay? Because figuring out like what our mission is, what our vision, what our highest timeline, sometimes it can feel just like so deep and so self-reflective and so inquisitive that we overthink it along the way. And I just want to make it super, super simple. All right, so you guys got blank paper?
Yes.
Okay. Try to have a blank paper or a blank section or a blank napkin.
You can just write on the table.
Yeah. Find a receipt somewhere or something. Like, I know how this goes.
As long as I don't trip over the flowers.
Notes everywhere. Okay, I did miss the day of kindergarten for left and right, and I always get screwed up.
Me too.
I'm on air, then I'm like, shoot, which is which? And then we've got stage left and stage right because of the camera.
Yeah, I get
it. So let me see if I can get us through this. Okay, so on your paper, this is left. On the left-hand side, this is where I am now. Where I am now. Super simple. Where I am now. And then on the right-hand side, where I want to be.
Yep.
Okay. And then we're going to examine the 4 major areas that matter to humans in modern day context. Okay. The first one is health. Second is wealth. Third is relationship. Relationships. And fourth is career, or I would call that our mission too. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is, and not to overthink this, because you could get into a lot of channeling and brainstorming around this, but here's what I want to do. All right. How many of you guys who's ever been in their Akashic Records before? Oh, go. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. So what I would love to do is invite you into the records. I'll take us into just a really short prayer and some breath work and some vibrational work to get us into the records. So you have that supreme intelligence of your soul here supporting you. Even if you haven't fully trained in this, it's okay. Just trust your intuition, trust what's coming into the imagination. All right, don't overthink it. And you want to just jot down quickly where you are now. Get really honest with yourself. And then where you want to be, where you want to go. And what will happen is your Akash, your masters, teachers, loved ones, guides, source, your innate, will begin to reverse engineer and construct the pieces that will show up to help you get from where you are now to where you want to go. Okay? All right. So let's go into the records. Everybody sit nice and straight. I'm going to take you into the records in a way that was uniquely gifted to me by my guides. You guys are already writing. You're already going, huh? You're like,
no, we were
it's
just
already
sitting
going.
up straight.
Oh, sitting up straight. I do want to also say that there are many ways to get into the Akashic Records. It's a vibrational match is what we're going for. And that's why spontaneously, I mean, we can pop into the frequency of the records without having to, you know, him and haw and snap this say this prayer and knock on this door. And it can be helpful because it does shift our vibration intentionally, and these ceremonies are consecrated. But I also don't want to diminish any experience that any of you had if you didn't do the secret knock to get in, if you came in dream time, or if you were at the stoplight and you were able to tap in. Okay. All right, so this is how my guides take us in, sitting up nice and straight, because we want to elongate the crystalline tube of light and lay the palms up and open in a receptive position on your lap, and take a deep breath in through your nose. Imagine that this breath is creating space in your body. So deep breath in. And then when you get to the top of that breath, just gently settle into a pause. This is 0-point resistance. Good. And now when you exhale, exhale like you're breathing through a straw. Good. Do that again, but with this breath, call light into the body. Good. As you settle into that 0-point energy, imagine every cell of your body illuminating with rainbow-colored light. And gently exhale. Third, deep breath in, calling your consciousness into the now moment. Deep breath in. That means letting go of everything that happened before this moment. Good. And as you exhale, letting go of everything that you still get to show up to today. Following the breath with your awareness, arriving at the end of this exhale, fully present. Good. With your inner eyes, with your inner imagination, with your intention, I want you to activate the crystalline tube of light and send it down, anchoring it into the core of Mother Earth, making that powerful connection. Good. And then send the crystalline tube of light out the top of your head, all the way up through the layers of space and time, exiting the universe, exiting the multiverse. Deep inhale as we anchor into the Akash. Good, nice slow exhale as you open up this channel. Good, and when you're ready, I want you to activate a flow of energy. This energy is going to spiral up from Mother Earth, spiral down from the Akash, and these energies will meet in your heart. The energy signature that is spiraling up from Mother Earth is the energy of Christed consciousness, of embodiment, of potentiality. We invite you to remember the story of Goddess Sophia, so fully incarnated, so fully embodied in her Christed consciousness energy, that she incarnated as a physical planet to host the experiment of souls ready to experience this becoming and ushering the energies of heaven on earth in these now moments. That energy flows up from Mother Earth for you now into your body. As the wisdom and intelligence of the Akash begins to spiral down into your body to perfectly illuminate your path of highest potentiality as you are the vessels, the channels to bring the energy of heaven on earth to the surface of this planet at this time. But feeling those energies running through your body, dropping the consciousness from the mind down into the heart, we'll sound the 5 sacred ohms. When you hear me ohming, you can ohm with me. This will create a vibrational frequency in your body that will prepare you for communication. With this ohm, I relax my body. With this ohm, I relax my mind. With this ohm, I release my ego. With this ohm, I call in the light. Okay, guys, this is the final ohm that we're going to sound, and we're going to open the records. The guides are asking you to please imagine the Akashic Records or access to intelligence in all things opening around you as a holographic reality of access opening all around you as we sound this final ohm. With this ohm, I open the Akashic Records of Emily Suzanne Harrison. Use your full name. The records are now open. All right, everyone, slow blink your eyes open, and you can just move right into a flow of channel writing. It might feel a little difficult and awkward to move your body if you have a lot of energy moving. Just move slow and know that as you move these energies, even though, like I said, it feels like we want to stay in that space, this helps pull the energy from the ether into the physical world. So just move slowly with yourself. You can begin the writing. How are you feeling, ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's hard. There are some powerful channeling that came in there. It's I just noticed it's can be a little bit different every time I open the records, and there may be a guide that comes through that wants to explain. And you guys got some good ones coming in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
Thank you.
So do we explore each of these 4 sections then?
Yeah, I would just very quickly, because what I didn't anticipate, what I shared with you ladies, is just hit me right before we came in. But if everybody's got to go to work now, we're going to have some dead airspace. You want me to sing or something? Or you want me to just
I could
silently dance back here? Or what do we do about that?
Well, guys, as you go ahead and write, just
if you have a question, let us know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
we can fill the airspace while they write, if that's okay.
That's fine with me. Fine by me.
Right.
So should we whisper while I'm writing or no?
Not whisper.
Or if anyone wants shares on the chat, or raise your hand to speak.
Yeah, definitely want to get some shares in here once you could start bringing some clarity.
Yes.
And Emily, are you good taking a few questions and possibly reading?
Let's do that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You want to go first?
What? Just talk. Yeah, in a little bit. Let's give everyone a little bit of space to read.
Yeah.
It was funny when I was doing that. Maybe this is why she's pulling out that I've got a question, but I almost felt like when we were ohming, I was getting my hands start to go when I do energy work. and it was doing these things like tie a knot, untie a knot. And I was like, well, so when you get some sort of symbol like that, is there questions that you usually ask around that to unlock more depth around it?
Yeah, like WTF, man. Like, what is this about? Right?
Just ask.
Really
Okay.
asking. And just like get it. First of all, here's what the guides are saying. If you notice movements and energy, like the body wanting to move, it's a calibration, a recalibration of energy. So before you let your mind jump in it too much, just be with the recalibration. Because the mind, the human mind is super powerful, and it can also stop the flow of anything we're experiencing really quickly once it starts jumping in. So just like let the calibration happen first. Even if you're like twitching just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just all as energy healers working with the energies here at the same time, right? Just
I love it.
But that's what they're saying. Let it calibrate in your body first. And then with childlike awe and wonderment, and that's important. I'll explain in a second. Ask about it. Like, what is this? Where did it come from? How can I use it? And the ideas of how to use it are going to feel really magical, childlike, like you're creating your wands and your magic tools and shooting energy out your hands and untying knots and things like this. So evidence that you're totally on the right track. And the challenge is to how do we nurture and hold that energy and work with it without bringing shameful energy, confused energy. Like we want to bring the opposites. Like if you notice yourself in those more dense emotions, what's the opposite of this? And play with it in the opposite energy.
It's funny, we have an ongoing conversation on how everything's the opposite of what it appears to be.
Oh, nice.
It's funny you said that.
Yeah, I don't normally, I've been working with opposites a little bit, excuse me, but that it doesn't normally come out in languaging like that. So I feel like it's definitely guides and teachers here that are bringing through intelligence for this community, and like we've already seeded and started conversations. It's so good.
Let's see, a couple comments says, wow, thank you for explaining. I did move my body sitting. One of the messages I received is in career, starting to write my books, start soon. She got the message, start soon. Okay, so I'd take that as now.
Yes, thank you. I heard that too. Oh, sorry, I got a little excited. But
Girl, we love the excitement. Bring it. Let's see. So Valentina says, when I am massaging myself or using massage tool on myself, I feel the need to move and pull out of the stuckness. I do have healing hands. I'm a reflexologist.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Play with it. One of the first things that my guides showed me in the Akashic Records was to just like take these two fingers, bring them together like they're a drill, and I can just drill down and scoop whatever out. And they said, throw it in a bucket of salt water.
Ooh, I got it. Yeah, I received that. For me, I wrote down, so where basically I got I know what I'm doing is like my highest timeline. And then what I got was know that you are on purpose. And then also access your records. We have messages. You have messages that you had planned to share. And I was like, oh, okay.
How cool. Like you've already written them and stored them there.
Yes. I was like, it really made me write planned. I was like, oh, okay, with the ED then.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. I love that your guides talked about, learn to read the records too, because here's the thing, guys, where you are now and where you want to be is very possible for you to get there, but there's a reason why you're not there yet. There's some unconscious patterns that you get to work through and see and rewrite to get to from where you are now to where you want to go.
Sure.
Right. And that's what the records can do in terms of speeding up our process. Eventually, your soul is going to figure it out. Eventually, you will. You will recycle and repeat through them so many times, you won't but help to be able to figure it out. And there are acceleration tools that you can use that help you see through a different perspective and make the road a lot easier, because when we incarnate into physical human form, our bandwidth shrinks of what we can process through our mind, right? So that's why remembering how to raise our bandwidth and tap into that higher frequency just lets us see so much more.
Yeah.
Things just make so much more sense. Yeah.
What do you say if somebody isn't really getting messages or clarity, or is there a way that they can open a new door?
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
So the messages, the actual comment was, I'm not getting anything. I'm feeling a lot of hesitation and resistance since I can't fake it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. So actually you are getting something. You're feeling, that's your clairsentience, and you're feeling hesitation and resistance, which is giving you data, right? It's data right there. That's hesitation and resistance is so alive in my field that it's keeping me right where I am. Why am I hesitant and resistant? Right? What's scary for me about this? And beginning to work with ourselves in this gentle, compassionate way. But sometimes that's what I mean. The mind jumps in and tells the story, oh, I'm not getting anything. And so we shut down. Actually, that's not the story. You're getting something. That's what it looks like when we get it through our clairsentience. So to answer this question, it's really education and understanding how our subtle energy body works. So we have 4 main clairs. And at the Akashic Academy, we do have a free resource, a training for you all that breaks down the clairs and exactly how to work them, how to use them. But I'll break them down for you quickly. There's clairvoyance, which is clear inner seeing. So that's pictures in your mind. Clairaudience, clear inner hearing, hearing voices. Sometimes people tell you you're crazy if you hear voices. Clairsentience, that's the inner feeling. That can be feeling of emotions. It can be feeling of sensation in the body. It can be temperature, right? And then we have claircognizance. That one I think is the most challenging to describe, because it's like you just know.
No.
Right? There's just like this knowingness. It's just okay. And those are the 4 that we can begin to exercise and work and understand which ones are naturally more dominant within us. I find that we have at least 1 or 2 dominant ones. And as we begin to understand them and work with them all together, they come online and they begin to work in symphony for us in a way that you won't really even detect which one is working. But in the beginning, it's important that we can isolate these nuances and begin to understand them. It's going to help you understand subtle energy in so many ways.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about resistance, just in general. Because I really feel like one of the words that I used to use, like when a healer, it's like I wouldn't receive energy healing. Like I would be like, I don't believe in it, or something like that. Like it wasn't really verbal like that, but it was kind of like my energetic system was like closed down. And one person said, well, are you being fraud patrol around it? Like literally, do you have a patrol system put up so that you're trying to prove that it's all a fraud, that it's not true? And that was one of my ways to get through, I guess, a small level of resistance really early on in this work. Do you have some tools that can help people that have constant resistance around energy healing and work like this to kind of open and just let maybe a little bit in at a time so that they can receive more, just receive more in life in general? Even messages and, all receiving.
Well, I mean, let's see. This is a flood of things that I want to say about this. Well, let's talk about opposites, because that's already been established in our sacred class today. There's only resistance and allowance when it comes to energies. Those are the opposites. That's where you can be on the spectrum, right? And if you're not in allowance, then you're in resistance, right? And if you can get out of resistance, then that means you can move into allowance. So this idea of resistance and allowance, once we understand it, we can start to navigate ourselves a little bit more. But then we can also embrace it because it's going to be a learning tool that's going to help us along the way, right? It's what's going to provide that irritant or that momentum for us. But we've got to reframe it and recognize I can't stay in my resistance. I can't build up this story around it. Or see, this is where the brain can jump in and be like, oh, all of my shit is just all right. I just can't do it. Right. If we can notice the resistance though, as uh-oh, here's time to change again. I've got an opportunity to become more resourceful. That's going to set us up to move through the process even more. And it's about dissection. I mean, ultimately, I think the human mind, our mind is so powerful. Our mind really needs to make cognitive sense of it. And that's why I love the record so much. And whoever asked you that question, what was the question again? Do you have
fraud patrol up?
Fraud patrol. Okay. The right questions are everything. We talk about tools
Yes.
we use. It's, hey, let's pull the right question that's going to get your mind thinking in a different way so that you understand what could potentially have been in your way and blocking you. And that's what the records do is like when we ask those questions, we can begin to see this revelation. We see things that we didn't see before. So that would be like one of the biggest tools in terms of my lineage and genius is the Akashic Records, if you're stuck, because that's going to reveal where you have resistance. You have resistance because you have a childhood trauma that's ancestral, by the way, and you're going to be clearing it not only for yourself, but all of humanity. And so we got to take you through all the lessons that you need to cycle through. Here's this one this time, right? Now, there are other things that we could do too. I mean, I don't want all the tools just to be like, read the records, although, hey, it is it's why
well, and I guess, you know,
it reminds you.
It's also, we could just use the word intuitive as well. Like, you know, follow your intuitive knowing, know that you know, and things like that. So,
but there are body things that you can do too. Like this is where yoga comes in really handy because yoga is going to create flexibility and breath and move breath through the body. Leonka, it might have been during the space news when you were talking about like the merging of heaven and earth or the physical and the matter. That's breath. Breath is what
yeah.
So tapping into that energy of breath. Oh shoot, my brain just went totally blank though, which usually means there's something good in there. When
coming,
yes.
I'll read it. So Valentina said, I have all of them. I'm sure she's talking about the clairs, and I can see auras and colors and breaks in the body, energy flowing and living in all things, even past overs as well. And I found you just accept and allow it to flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what's possible. It's possible for everybody. So who shared that beautiful comment? Valentina. So Valentina, thank you for holding that space for all of our humans to come online and be able to tap in that way. So this is what you all have to look forward to.
Love it.
Sorry, I remember what it was. I wanted to pop back to that. So yoga will bring breath, that magical energy into the body. It'll bring flexibility, right? It'll create a physical template to help you feel more safe, opening up and getting that intelligence. Because sometimes what's keeping us in resistance really likes to hide deep in our subconscious because it's keeping us perceivably safe. And if you're finding that it's challenging to get those messages, sometimes the body's holding on to them really tightly. So that's why I said like the yoga, the breath work can be good too.
Fabulous. Well, I feel like let's go ahead and share your program. And I mean, gosh, this is really, really cool. And Emily's made a really delicious offer. So I kind of wanted to move in and we can talk about that. And then do you want to have them, if some of you guys would have specific questions about what you became aware of, you can go ahead and raise your hand while Emily shares the package.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, first I'll just create a container for you to begin to see like, is this right for me or is this one not right for me? Because I know that it can get really exciting in here and you're like, oh, I want to keep hanging out with all of the energy healers. So let's figure out if it's even the right thing for you or not. All right. The Akashic Record training program will teach you how to read your Akashic records, and also there's opportunity for certification. If this is something you feel like you want to create a business in or help others do. All right, but let's talk about what problems and challenges it's going to help for you personally first. All right, if you are feeling stuck in those areas of life where we map things out, if you're feeling stuck in any of those areas, the records are going to help you see why you're stuck and what you need to learn so that you can get from point A to point B. Okay. This is also for you if you're feeling like you've got repetitive patterns. Those are karmic patterns. Those are things that your soul is here to learn. And truly, until we learn enough of those, it can be really hard and challenging to step into the fullness of what our mission is. And when we don't learn those, we get things like physical ailments, dis-ease in our health, in our emotions. And we need to get those things healed, and proper energy and harmony and miracle consciousness flowing through your body. Okay, so if you've got these energetic challenges that make it hard for you to hold the frequency of miracle consciousness, it's a yes for you. This is going to help you figure out why. Also, if you're feeling alone, I really wanted to highlight the aspect of community and how important it is for you to be in a space where there are other humans that are doing this work at a really high level. It creates a vibrational frequency that lifts us all up. So if you're finding it challenging to advance in the places that you're at right now and you don't have community around you, this is going to unlock that for you. Okay, so let's talk about what the actual deliverables are. This is let's see what I even wrote here. Yeah, you guys can read these. Okay, these I would call these. This is the benefits. This is what's going to happen. This is what you're going to unlock. Okay, you're going to get access to syncing your mind with superconscious intelligence. So the thoughts that are flowing through your mind are giving you feedback about your soul, your highest timeline. Turning on new energetic skills. You learn how to make up new medicine in the records. My life in Hollywood, I took a soap opera gig that my soul truly didn't want, and I got fired from it. It was humiliating, super challenging for me. And I didn't have the tools at that point in time to move through it. So I created a soul contract, basically saying, if this is what success looks like, I'll take a pass on it. I don't want it. And when I started doing this work, the Akashic Records work and training others, I hit some blocks in my business. And my guide said, you have a success ceiling from getting fired at Bold and the Beautiful. You got to clear that. I'm like, great, how? And so they gave me medicine. And it had to do with tapping on certain places of my body, saying certain prayers. And within months, it cleared. And y'all, that was the year I quintupled my income. It was also the year I became a single mom, and it was quintuple my income and figure out my business or go get a job in the casinos. Okay, that's what I mean about energetic skills. You get to clear the stuff holding you back from your past. I'm not going to go through each one of these. Clear and identify.
Love it though.
Yeah. So here's how it works. This in the training has been recorded. Yes. So let's go to the 17 modules.
Go back.
No, scroll
down.
Down.
Scroll to my bad.
Up a little bit. Up a little bit.
No,
a little bit more. Bam, right there. Down a little bit.
Oh.
Sorry, this is really fun for me. I don't think it's fun for you guys.
Here we go. Here. No, wait.
No,
Nope.
it'll say 17
right above that.
Yeah.
Right there.
we go.
Right there. Yes. Okay. So these modules are pre-recorded along with a workbook that's going to have the key code questions in every single module. We're going to unlock the intelligence that you need. All right. These come to you, they come to you via email, and you can access them in your behind the scenes portal. Okay. You can go at your own pace as you go through these. And these modules are going to help you. First of all, you're going to learn how to read the records, how to go in and trust yourself getting information. We got to start there so that you can feel confident in the intelligence that's coming in. Then we move into reading your own records. So when I say you got to figure out these subconscious programs that you have around health and jobs and money and relationships and your relationship to God, you're going to go through reading all of your own records on these topics. and have the opportunity to rewrite them as you go. See, so you're not only learning how to read the records, you're also making tweaks in there along the way of aspects of energy that we've taken on that isn't serving us or isn't holding us in our highest good. That's a tremendous healing chapter, I'll call it, of the work. We release so much density. Your vibration starts to get so high because things start to make sense. You start to trust yourself like, oh, I get it. I get it. That's when we start doing what I call showing off in the records, where we do past lives and future lives and astral travel and tapping into some of these things that we can sometimes associate with our higher quantum skills, right? But that level of exploration is what allows our unique creativity and our genius to come online. And we begin to see our life differently and see what is possible. And truly, our thoughts, our new thoughts of what's possible for us are what begin to create our future. And so that's the scope of the training. Again, there is certification that you can receive doing this. There's no extra investment required for, I'll say monetary investment required for certification, but there is a time investment. We ask you and support you in doing practice readings and helping you get really comfortable before we turn loose out there. And we are offering this at 60% off. Okay, so $1,497 is the investment for the entirety of this training. We also have office hours. So if you want to come into our sacred classroom on Fridays with other students and ask questions, there will be a senior coach in there waiting to support you. And yeah, $1,497 to 60% off for Lionsgate. I want to make this possible for everyone who's ready to truly step into a new timeline, to not be ready. We can't fall back on our old excuses. And if you're ready for this to be my time, I want to be for you guys, and super easy.
Fabulous. Well, thank you.
So fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So when you click on our site, you go ahead and go on over to her little checkout page here, and everything is already
set up for you.
You may need to add the coupon code in here.
Yes,
so that coupon code is all over the previous page. It's AR60, you guys, right here. Just so you don't get like all confused and then you have to go, well, can you refund me so I can repurchase again? So make sure that you use that code when you check out.
Yeah. And I just want to share quickly, my students and clients have been able to use this training and make just crazy shifts in their life. I've worked with a client, Laura, who transitioned from clinical practice to having her own Akashic Record training course. I helped her create her own doing it, and she did a 75K launch.
Nice.
I've got students who have come in with like debilitating autoimmune dis-ease because they haven't fully stepped into their mission, and with within the 4 months of training with me, let go of a sun disease. That my client Cindy, she was estranged from her family and her kids because she couldn't even go outside without having layers and layers on her. And she recognized through this training that she was here to shine her light onto the planet. And she was so scared to do it that it had created this physical manifestation of closing her in. She healed it and now goes to concerts, like festival concerts, in shorts and sandals with her kids, and they went skydiving, and it's life-changing, like life-changing results for whatever 60% off $1,497 is. Again, I can't do the math. My brain's too plugged into the ether. So someone have to get a calculator out.
But it's more than that. It's like, I mean, people can, once they know how to open their records, they can work with other people. They can, like you said, the other one did a $75,000, launch. I mean, that's her training other people in this work. But the thing that you really get is the healing for yourself. And I think that is, and it's remarkable, like the things you didn't even know could happen are just showing up for you. I think that's amazing. Yeah. Also, my brain just thought I was going to pull up the 60%, but go ahead.
I wanted to, well, we got to kind of rush this just a little bit just because of the work that I'm getting done on my house today. But if you guys do have a question specific about the training or the exploration or insights that you have, I do want you to go ahead and raise your hand now.
Manisha had her hand up.
Yeah, I see Manisha. We'll get her in just a second. So just wanted to let you know the door is open. It is 111 right now.
Oh, nice. Nice.
It's 12 now here in
Yes.
Central Time.
See? Woo! All the signs.
All right, all the times. Great. And Manisha just put her hand down. So I guess we're about at a wrap. Did you have something that you wanted to add?
Some last words. Do you have any last words for us, Emily?
Let me see. I was ready to do rapid fire readings for y'all.
Oh, well, do
Oh,
one
well,
on me
okay,
then. I'll
great.
take one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me
Let's
talk.
do a couple. We have 15 minutes.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, let's play for the next 15 minutes.
Cool, man.
Cool. And
Okay, so Leon, let me just tap into your energy here. And so the records work by asking questions. Okay,
Yes.
so I want you to think about where you have questions in your life, and then when you're ready, let it rip.
Okay. So of course I brought this up a little bit earlier, but I walked away from a really secure, 6-figure business, career, to start this podcast. I had always wanted to, and I just would take different certifications during my lunch and this and that. And, I know that this works because I used to work with Jeneth in her business. But I just want to get a little bit more like secure because that's just how I've always played the game, right? I've always been like, oh, I know I have money all the time, but because I've always been a salesperson or a really savvy career person, but I just couldn't fail it. I couldn't do it anymore. So anything that you're seeing, I'm super excited about the growth that we've had here today, and just the show has been amazing, and I'm not walking away from it, but just some clarity on that.
What I'm feeling is that you're an energy healer, a teacher. You've got the high priestess kind of wisdom in you that matches the masculine ability to build business, and you like fully stepping into this new identity where you are in like ownership and just full authority of the energy and the magic and the wisdom that's moving through you. You're still learning how you get to play with all these pieces and how you get to stand in them.
Yeah.
There's still some like creative building that's happening, but there's also some hesitation and some fear of what every human goes through when we put on new identities and we evolve. So the guides are saying just know that you have this medicine within you. And I didn't say it specifically, but I definitely felt it that it's you and your birthday, and that channeling that came in when we opened the records was specifically speaking to you, through you. It was a consciousness that was showing up, identifying itself with you, and it felt like Magdalene energy, Isis and Hathor energy to me that was coming in. And it's more about you self-initiating and saying, yep, I'm a part of that lineage. They're bringing in the lineage of the rose again, the sacred sisterhood of the rose. And work with the solar plexus and root chakra specifically. Solar plexus will give you courage as you are stepping into this, and root chakra will give you the safety and security that you need. But I'm also seeing it actually looks like an invitation for you to figure out, similar to my Learn to Read the Records training. And by the way, guys, I'm going into Shasta next week, and we'll be on the mountain for
beautiful.
which is part of what I've built is my dream scenario business, like what I love to do, how I want to show up for people. But there's that invitation to you to build what your signature core opportunity looks like. Because, oh, yeah, duh. Like I opened up this whole conversation today when you guys said share your story. I'm like, no, I just want to hang out with you. Like people want to be in your field. They want to be in your medicine. And we're meaning those who are in soul contract to work with you are desiring what that looks like to show up and be with you in that. So focus on creating that.
on, like, that's straight up, that's on. It reads 100%.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
good.
know,
Feels
I
good
know
too.
it because I've been receiving it.
Good, cool. Good, good,
Thank
good.
you for the, yes, thank you for the I guess not validation, but just confirmation, right? Like yeah, I know I've been receiving that, but hearing it in out loud words in physical form is
I
like,
know.
oh, whoa, all right.
I know. It's sort of like validating your intuition is good.
Yes.
How about you, Kenneth? You got a question?
Yeah, and while I ask a quick question, if you guys want just a quick reading, go ahead and raise your hand again. Sorry, I kind of disturbed the flow. So yeah, I mean, we just have a lot going on, I feel, and I sometimes get all, wound up like this. Do you have anything coming through about Michael? Everything everywhere. It's not necessarily overwhelmed, but I think it could be called that.
Yep. So again, the guides are bringing me back to the visual of your skylight being open and just like you're super starseed, super galactic. You can bring in lots of that cosmic galactic energy. Although here's the thing, it's like you're not weird, or you're weird in all the best ways. Like you're very grounded in your humanism, and you don't seem like an alien walking around the planet with all of this powerful starseed energy coming in, right? But I do see you as having
spot on.
high level.
Spot on.
Spot on. Okay. And so if we're like this, incarnating into our human evolution this time around, or I should say our human incarnation, grounding can be so important because that's what's going to balance that really high etheric energy. So you want to think about earthing, getting shoes and socks off in the earth. You might find ways to ground your home and office space with crystals, or intention. Like again, we're all medicine men and women and shaman. We can make it up as we go, right? So making up whatever you need to really ground. Eating lots of root vegetables is great for grounding, things that are grown in the earth, and working in those lower chakras. Our lower three chakras are what really keep us connected to and govern a lot of what we're experiencing in the 3D world. Okay, we've got root chakra, sacral, solar plexus. Root, safety and security. Sacral, creativity, sexuality. Solar plexus, personal power, courage. Right? You see how that has a lot to do with how you show up in your life, right? Heart's the bridge, and then the uppers, throat, third eye, and crown are connected into higher realms, and we've got to bridge and be able to bring all this down. And if we get really excited and love working in those higher realms, it's easy for us to not be as good at grounding it into earth. So all of these things can help.
Fabulous. Yes. My body is like, yes, you need to do more of that. I appreciate that.
And it's funny that
it was really spot on.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's great.
Wow.
All right, Manisha, you're up.
Hello, Emily. Hello, Leonka and Jenna. I'd love a mini reading, please.
Cool. What's your question?
I've had a lot of repeat patterns of betrayal, money, family, ex-husband, father. So
yeah. Okay. Knights Templar instantly coming up. Do you resonate with that timeline at all? Knights Templar?
not really. I'm aware of it, but I don't really resonate. No.
Okay, so what the guides are showing me, they instantly showing me the trade routes and resources that were moved, and like you said, exactly, a lot of the betrayal that happened along the way. You're also balancing some masculine, feminine energy that's really important. I mean, some of the biggest betrayals on the planet happen over money. And over money and power. And we have collective hurt and mistrust in this area on the planet. And in order for this to be healed, it must be healed through the divine feminine. Everything that is birthed on the planet is birthed through the divine feminine. So you are, it's a really important karmic
Yes.
pattern, yeah, that you're moving through for all of humanity, but you are holding the vessel of forgiveness through the divine feminine of the betrayal of divine masculine, and specifically around money and resources and misuse of that. So thank you. That's major work that we definitely need on planet. Is it okay if I look in and ask what needs to be done to, like, let's be done with this cycle, right? Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So anybody feel like you're repetitive cycles and you want to get out of them? This is going to be like information. Yeah. Information for all of us. Here's what the guides are saying. First important thing is to face and feel, because we bury a lot of stuff, and we don't want to burden others, but we've got to be witnessed, and you got to witness it for yourself, right? So you got to face and feel and be willing to have those energies come up and move out of your body. Okay. And then part 2, find the gift within the wound. A great question that can help you is, how is XYZ, that's the problem you're experiencing, a part of my divine path?
Can I just share something with you? That's the reason the book has come up when you were first talking about it, because the book is about my life story. So you're revalidating it.
Excellent. Good.
That's probably why I got the opportunity to ask you for a reading. Thank you.
Excellent. Good work.
Thank you,
you.
Jenna. Thank you, Lianka. Thank you, Emily.
Okay, we're going to do 2 more real quick because they are in our healer circle, and our healer circle always gets to go first. So we've got Anita up, and Karen would also like a session if we've got time. So Anita, go for it.
Hi, Emily. Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it. So for me, it's also a money thing, and I've had a lot of stuckness around receiving and figuring out what I need to do, should do to bring money towards me, but just the flow of it coming towards me has been not there.
Okay. So the guides are bringing up a lot of things here, so I'm going to talk through them fast. First of all, physical relaxation in the body is super important if we're going to receive safety and resource and prosperity. And a lot of times we forget to work the physical body. The physical body can be what's keeping us in resistance because we're too tense. So try working just some physical aspects of your body. Then the guides also say you want to go into strong visualization. They're showing me you as very Native American grandmother energy, as one of the vision keepers, meaning we are the ones who shoot the vision of humanity and where we want to go into the field. And we're very trusted with that, which isn't a real job in modern day society, but it has been in the past. And I'm inviting you, and the guides are saying, you're good at this, so do it. And that requires us to hold the vision, not the circumstance. All right. So if you are a vision keeper and you've worked in programming the vision for the collective before, you may notice cycles like this in your life where it feels like, oh, yeah, I'm like, everything that I'm telling myself feels like a lie based on what my circumstances are right now. Right. I'm healthy and I'm wealthy and I'm XYZ. You're like, yeah, but my life doesn't show that. If that's you, you're a vision keeper. And as soon as you start seeing yourself and understanding your job and trusting it more, you're going to relax into it. But a really challenging part of this that we've got to initiate into is holding the vision, not the circumstance. So just practice doing that. And remember, the quantum field doesn't create based on past circumstance. Only we bring that vibrational frequency into our programming. Cool?
Cool. Thank you.
I got good stuff out of that too. Thank you.
No.
That was so good.
Yeah, I was like, wow,
I'm
that
like, I'm gonna have to
statement-
listen to that again. That was
Yeah.
quick quick,
Yeah.
fast, and I could listen to it 100 times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good.
Like we need that one on repeat for a few.
Yeah. Well, at least it's at the very end of this recording. You can keep coming back to it if you want. Fabulous. Thank you, Anita. We're going to do
Thank you.
one more. I just said one.
I saw that.
All right. Karen, you're up. If you can still come on.
Now your messages are coming through your mouth. Let's see.
Okay.
Well, just you could read her question.
No, she just said she wanted a reading. She could get one, I think. Oh, maybe not.
May I have
Oh, she's the one that has the.
She's a little bit of voice stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Without talking and being on camera. Okay, sorry, I didn't
She's
make it.
unmuted right now. But she would prefer us to read it, and then you can tap into her energy because she is unmuted, but she has a little bit of trouble with her voice. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, right now.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Okay. Can you read it?
Yeah, without talking or camera, as my voice and my head painfully hurt at the moment, I am unclear of my purpose and continue to clear a lot of anger and tension. Thank you so much. Bless you for your time and I love.
Yes. I'm just going to do some energy work first of all.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think I'll receive this one. This is juicy.
Me too.
Definitely challenges around being seen and heard that are manifesting physically, right? And not feeling safe being seen and heard. And I feel like there's patterns of abuse that are moving here.
Behind.
Yeah. Mostly what I'm just brought to is a state of just human compassion and a desire to hold. What's her name again?
Karen.
Karen. Yeah, I just want to be really present with you, Karen. Our name holds the vibrational frequency of our soul, and just hold you in compassion and gratitude for what you're moving through for humanity in your field right now. And I feel like you just need a place to be seen and heard and held, uplifted. Everybody, if we can just like uplift Karen right now. I feel it's like a deep exhaustion in your soul of being depleted from just showing up and giving your all, and it catching up with you. Nice, deep, slow breaths. I'm also hearing tides turning, and feeling a lot of shifting and healing for you, Karen. Yeah, and so it is. Angels coming in really strongly around you, like they've been working with you. They've been taking you into the angelic realm at night, and you've got some ET connection too, where I feel like they might be taking you up onto ships and educating you right now. And let's just, yeah, some of the complications that you're experiencing in your body too are almost like re-entry symptoms that the guides are saying, which is interesting. So just working on adjusting your bandwidth. There you go. The guys are saying the bandwidth is, your nervous system is allowing the bandwidth to be adjusted so that when you do go on these travels, it's not going to be so challenging for you to re-enter. Cool.
Perfect. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I was perceiving all of that. Thank you, Karen, for opening up all that energy work for all of us. I was very grateful.
Yes.
Wow.
Cheryl says, the message I'm getting is that I need to start with yoga. I mean, yeah. And yes, I'd be booking that right now. As soon as get off. And then there's another one, I can't read it, but why is it, Valentina says, why is it that I can't seem to help with others in many ways? It seems that I can't connect.
I cannot do this for myself.
But she can help others. Yeah. Is there a pattern? A problem? I don't know if we have time.
Is there a problem?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the guys are saying it's learned helplessness. If you notice that you can help others, but you can't help yourself, being influenced by a pattern of learned helplessness that came in somewhere. And we just got to figure out where that is and shoot it up with some energy lasers for you so it goes away. But learned helplessness is huge. most all of us go through having to break our learned helplessness to something, to money, to narcissistic relationships, to health, to it's definitely a pattern that keeps the collective in oppression. So it'll show up for all of us somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. And then
Thank
there are a
you.
lot of comments, things like, bless you, thank you, spot on. Oh, Vonti says, oh, thank you. So Emily, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, that's a
and-
beautiful call, and you just have such beautiful energy. I'm just so grateful that you joined us today. We'll have to play again.
Oh, yes, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody's thank you so much. Amazing call. Thank you, Emily. Yay.
Loved it. I
Anything that
loved being here with you all.
Any
Was it
last words
beautiful?
that you'd like to leave us with, or?
Just happy Lionsgate.
You're like, me.
Oh,
I
you
think
guys,
I'm out
sorry.
of words.
Sorry, it is your show, by the way. Let me just.
No.
No.
We like to close with a couple like any last statement that comes through you.
For the group.
Yeah.
Just the awareness from the guides of thanking you for being here and doing the work, and how potent this Lionsgate energy is. Bless you. It can get challenging out there, but you are here for a reason, and the work that we did here today will begin to consecrate your highest timeline. So thank you for participating in the movement that you are part of.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys, just as a reminder, we meet Tuesdays and Thursdays. We are live. It's also live streamed on YouTube at Haute. And I hope that you'll see us around somewhere in this world, even if it's on Instagram.
Have a good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Emily. Bye-bye, everyone.